This week on Retro Movie Geek.
Everyone loves Joey Boca.
Joey?
Your husband.
Some people love him to death.
He's been shot in the head.
Oh.
Really?
Kevin Kline.
Got a little headache.
Tracey Ullman.
You're gonna have to shoot him again.
Joan Plowright.
So how come it runs meatballs?
River Phoenix.
I was gonna get a Band-Aid.
William Hurt and Keanu Reeves.
We killed the wrong person.
You should have a 2 bullets in your head.
I love you to death.
3 bullets, 4 bullets. Hey!
Rated R. Starts Friday, April 6th at a theater near you.
Welcome to Retro Movie Geek, the show wherein we, your humble hosts, watch and discuss a retro movie, which we define as any movie 20 years old or older. This, of course, means we spoil the heck out of each and every movie we cover. So if you haven't seen this episode's cinematic delight, consider yourself forewarned. I am Joel, and I am joined kind of in the digital flesh by, let's see here, we've got Daryl.
Yes.
And Peter. So if you're just listening and not watching, this episode is our very, very, very first in like a gajillion years, which I think is how long we've been doing this together, that we have done a video podcast. As well as audio, obviously. I'm going to put the audio out.
I do like this to listen.
I know you're like listening.
I have headphones on.
Yes. So I think Daryl might be still a little high from last night.
Not last night.
Or night before, whatever.
Yeah.
Daryl, you okay?
Yes.
Okay. So we are, I already screwed it up because I'm going to have to get used to doing this. I was going to have the banners come up. Welcome! Like that. But
wow.
so
what else
for the,
do you have there?
Oh, you'll see. Oh, we've got more. We've got more where that came from.
Oh my God.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So here's the thing. So if you're just listening and not watching, please go over to the YouTube channel, Mom and Pop Video Shop. Check us out. I'm going to have a playlist set up. I have one for Terror on the Tube because we already did one episode video there. I did this one. If this works and we enjoy this, this might be how we do things in the future. Where
we can show our boobies.
That's we can on occasion show our man boob, our movies.
You have to grow a beard. No, you have to grow a beard that's gray.
Do I? Oh, really? Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
We all have it.
I know. I'll maintain my youthful vigor around you two old farts.
Yeah, I may fall asleep.
Such a
People can
square.
see it now.
I know. It's
square.
hip to be square. I learned that from Huey Lewis, Daryl. I don't know if you knew that.
No, you know what? Let's move on.
All right. So I don't know. Because we are covering I Love You to Death from 1990.
Yes.
Wait, Peter. Wait, just for you, buddy.
Sorry.
Wait for it. Ready? Booyah! Peter's VHS synopsis. Look at that.
Wow.
What do you got for us, Peter?
Wouldn't it be nice if well, this is actually off a DVD.
Ooh, awkward.
No, but it's not, of course. Hang on.
Okay.
You should
Kevin
AI
Kline.
AI him.
Kline, okay. Kevin Kline, Tracey Ullman, William Hurt, River Phoenix, Joan Plowright, and Keanu Reeves star in this bawdy comedy. Bawdy.
Is it really?
I don't know. It said so on the back of the VHS. Go with it. Based on the true story of a woman who tried to kill her husband 4 times. I think it was actually 5 times if I'm remembering. Comedienne Tracey Ullman is Rosalie Boca, the devoted wife of philandering pizza maker Joey. When Rosalie learns that he's been squeezing more than just tomatoes, her homicidal instincts take over. With the help of a new age busboy, drug-addled cousins Harlan and Marlon, love those two by the way, and her own mother, Rosalie attempts to send Joey to that big bed in the sky. Don't you just love it? But love ultimately triumphs in this stranger-than-fiction comedy from the director of The Big Chill and The Accidental Tourist.
Okay. and writer of Raiders of the Lost Ark and Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, should we go into that immediately? No.
Okay, we will get to that, I'm sure. So that was Peter's synopsis. And again, for anyone watching, you'll get the graphics that will occasionally appear on screen, like our banner at the bottom.
Oh, look at that.
Like, isn't this beautiful? It's like we're professional or something stupid.
Wow.
All right, so
I can't see it.
you can't see it, Daryl. You can't see it, really? Oh, okay. All right. So, when did you first see I Love You to Death, Daryl?
On probably on the HBO-ish.
Okay.
And actually, when we wandered around the safe streets of New York in 2016, Daryl, we actually talked about this and wanted to convince Joel to cover it.
And I'm sure Daryl remembers that exact moment, don't you, Daryl?
Oh, I remember it clearly. I was wearing a blue shirt with gray pants.
You know that I can actually check it.
I know we have a picture of us, so we can actually.
I would say Peter, for being the oldest among us, has like the most insane memory for like these moments and these details. Like I was out the streets of New York like 8 years ago, and I remember having a conversation about this movie. That's amazing.
I will forget shit I did 15 minutes ago.
Yes, me too.
Well, so would I. Would just random stuff pops out. I mean, I remember watching this with my dad and stuff he laughed out loud about. So,
yeah. Well, then this is going to be an awkward and painful discussion as we move forward. So, Peter, when did you?
With my dad too.
What?
I don't have a father.
Peter, when did you first see this movie?
Sometime in 1990, I think.
Okay.
Sometime.
Sometime.
Can't
It was
say
too graphic
exact...
for Sweden.
Huh?
Too graphic for Sweden.
No, not at all. I just don't remember the exact date.
Gotcha.
But I know somewhere in 1990.
So I have a quick technical question. So those listening, I apologize, but I just want to verify something because this is again our first time doing the video. So Daryl, the audio that we're hearing from you, is that coming from your phone or from your earbuds?
It's from his neighbor.
I don't know. My air conditioner just came on.
I'm not worried. No, actually, that's not that bad. But just before you were just clearer when you and I did our test. I'm wondering if the audio is coming through your earbuds are the kind that you could talk through, right?
It's the same setup.
Okay, all right. Just make sure you speak loud and proud so I can hear you. Okay.
You have earbuds? Oh, I have old school earbuds. There you go. A newfangled technology. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. To me, you were clear last time, but that's okay. We'll deal with it. All right.
I couldn't see the earbuds.
Yeah, I can hear you. You're a little bit like underwater sounding. Not horribly. It's not horrible. It's just you again. You sounded when we did our test. Of course, it sounded great, and now it's like All right. Yeah.
And I did a race joke. Nobody heard it though.
No one, because no one listens to you, Peter.
Oh, my bad.
I just said I couldn't see your earbuds.
I just need to say when I first saw this movie, Peter. All right, so Peter and Daryl,
Yes.
when I first saw this movie was last night.
I know.
Yeah,
But
but here's what's weird. I wonder because did you saw it on HBO, right, Daryl?
Yes.
I'm thinking I saw at least a chunk of this movie because a lot of it, either that or they put promos on this thing all the time on HBO. Because I immediately thought after I watched, I was like, this feels like a movie when I lived with my dad that I would have had on HBO. Like it would have been on all the time, and I would have watched part of it.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, because I just remembered things that I shouldn't remember, being that I never saw it. So I lean towards I never. Yeah, that is a very, very possible reality. Yes, that I didn't pay attention. Yeah. All right. So
see, big screen. Son of a bitch. Sorry.
Okay.
No.
All right, so I'm bringing us back. All right, so so we are talking, like I said, about I Love You to Death from 1990, and I guess.
Oh, you want a synopsis?
You already did a synopsis.
I know.
You'll remember a conversation from a decade ago. But you can't. Okay.
I'm messing with you.
I know you are. So before we get into all the IMDb stuff and everything that we usually go down and talk about gaffers and best boys and water boys and all that stuff.
Best boys. That was Devo.
Yeah. So this movie again, just going with the assumption I never really saw it, and if I did, I wasn't paying attention.
Right.
Okay, Peter, be honest with me. Is it because you saw this with your dad? Is that like the special feeling for this? Okay.
No, I mean, I didn't. I had to think for did I actually? Because I remember him laughing at the start of the movie when Kevin Kline's character says that he cursed his mother-in-law, but he said he did it in Italian, so
it didn't count.
Understand it, so it didn't count. I remember my dad laughing at that, but I thought, hang on, when did I watch this? Because and Daryl left.
Now we know. Now we know what
yeah.
Daryl is. All right, keep going.
And I mean, so I had to think there because he passed away in the early '90s, so I had to think for a minute. But that's not why. I've seen this movie multiple times, and I laugh every time.
Okay. So you found this movie to be an uproarious comedy.
Not uproarious, but fun. Are you going to make me cry this episode?
It's
because
possible.
People can see it now.
It's possible.
I can't hide my shit.
I know you can't. No, you can't. You can't. All right. Now that Daryl's back. By the way, Daryl, you do realize we can now see you every time you get up and leave, right?
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Wait. What did you do? You sound better. What did you do?
I got 2 ear pods.
Oh,
instead of one.
you sound way clearer now. Yes. Okay.
That's why I went in. I just forgot that I probably had the 2 instead of the 1.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's like I'm having a threesome of audio
in your ears. You're having a threesome in your ear. All right. So Daryl, I'm assuming being that you and Peter apparently had a conversation walking down the mean streets of New York City.
I don't remember. I know we talked about we wanted to cover it. And
there were gunshots. We were running.
Yeah.
There was a lot. We were
did a guy run by you with a basket that may or may not have had a conjoined mutated twin in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I remember, right? Because Peter, I was returning fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you had said to me,
"You were like,
I was digging into my daughter's purse for the gun."
Right. She had slit the throat of like 3 ninjas.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And it was a fun time. We had a great time.
So what you're saying is your experience in New York with Peter on his vacation sounded more cathartic and satisfying than the end of Savage Streets.
Yes.
Okay.
Because no one was raped in that.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good to know. Good to know.
That we know of.
Good to know. All right. So Daryl. So Peter has already explained that for him, he thinks this movie's funny. He has a soft spot in his heart for it. Had you seen this movie since you first saw it, or was this like your first watch in 20 years?
Maybe off and on, like they had advertised it, or it was on something, and there's parts that I remember. Again, it's like you. There's parts I remember a lot more than others.
Okay, all right. So for Peter, this movie is.
I remember exact quotes and lines and exactly because I sat yesterday watching it. And I said the lines out before they said on screen.
Wow.
So I have seen this multiple times.
I'm going
to cry.
Okay, here's the thing. There were some chuckles for me. There were a few chuckles. And I mean literally like a, like that, you know?
Okay, leave studio.
I've already laughed more in the like 12 minutes or whatever it is that we recorded.
Damn, he sounds like the Joker, right?
Yeah, I know.
A little bit. Here's the thing. The cast is fantastic. I will get into a whole thing about how I think Tracey Ullman is totally an unsung, amazing actress. Like I think that woman is like so talented and she's so great. And there's a great cast.
Did you watch it? You watch it?
Yes,
show?
I did. I used to love that show because I would watch that and then
Simpsons started.
That's what. Yes, exactly. I remember I watched every Tracey Ullman. I watched. That was back when Werewolf the TV series, like early days of Fox, when they did all those like shows like that, Married with Children, all that stuff. So
the first time I encountered Tracey Ullman, well, not in person, I wish, was in '83. In '83, when we first heard "Breakaway," the single from her debut album, and I didn't know she had an album. No, that's how she started.
My brain. It used to be a video. They had a video they would show.
Yeah. Go on Facebook. I posted it there.
It was like one where she's singing. It's like she's singing like a kind of a throwback to like the 60s, where she's like,
okay,
they don't care about us.
There you go.
The
album was called "You Broke My Heart in 17 Places."
there was another one where she was the killer in it. Remember
What?
there was the song? It was a video. They did a video of like she killed somebody and she's singing as the whole thing was going on. And she's on the bus.
I knew she could sing because on her
Back in
show,
83, so you were
she-
barely born.
I was like 7. I was like 7 years old.
Yeah, you're a child.
But here's the
back then.
thing. Here's the thing. I knew she could sing because her character. She'll do characters.
That's what I knew
Yeah.
first. I knew of her as
same
a
here.
singer before I knew about
Really?
her.
Her.
Yeah.
I just learned she's a singer today, this moment. I didn't even know that was a thing. I have to look
Gotta
it up.
Look it up. It's on
I'll look-
YouTube.
I'll look it up. So but I've always been a fan of hers. I think she's super talented.
Yeah,
she's
right.
very funny.
Awesome.
And honestly, there's nobody in this movie that I don't like as far as like either they're funny or they're like very good actors. But I'm not gonna lie, guys. I didn't think this movie was that funny at all. Like I thought it was. I thought it was going to be like a fish called
Leave
Wanda.
studio.
No, I thought I was
No,
going to
it's-
be.
No, it's a different type.
But
of
it just
movie.
it
It's a
didn't.
different kind of fun.
Yeah, but it's like I guess I wasn't. I don't know what I was. I wouldn't even have an expectation. It's not like I would have going, oh, this better meet the. I wasn't like that. I was like, oh, it'd be cool. A lot of people I like, and River Phoenix
Well,
is cool to see him in something.
Yeah,
but-
but think about that. Since it's based on a true story, it's not going to be rip-roaringly funny or anything like that.
Right.
But this actually, it happened, and I read somewhere there are Francis and Tony Toto, the couple it's based on, are actually still married today.
That's
And
awesome.
she served 2, 3 or 4 years in prison. I'm not sure how much.
That's
And
all
then-
she got.
Yeah.
Why women get to do anything?
It's love. Apparently, when you attempt to murder someone 4 or 5 times, it's not murder or
It's
attempted.
passion. It's passion.
Exactly. There you go.
Wow.
So when
Must
Daryl
be
tells
nice
us to
in
go
America.
fuck ourselves, it's just
Yeah.
It's passion.
Let's be nice, white America.
I get to see. I get to see his faces now as he does that crap, which is awesome. All right, so yeah, people, if you're just listening, you need to just go over to the YouTube channel and watch this because
you
this is
should.
great. Yes, you should. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe while you're there. Booyah!
Wow.
that was a pro. I think they call it a pro YouTuber move.
That's a YouTuber move there.
Yeah,
This is podcast Retro Movie Geek.
Yes, indeed. So we will then. Okay,
You
so
all
what?
did the exact same thing. That's just.
I know. Here's the thing.
Sad.
Here, I want to ask you guys because I don't want to spend. Here's the thing I was worried about after watching this movie. I thought, oh, this is going to be one of those episodes where we spend 90% of the time doing the IMDb breakdown because I don't. As far as the story goes, it's fairly basic. He's a jerk. He cheats on her. I know. I'm a basic biatch.
Fun stuff. None of the characters they act like. I mean, he's a philandering dick.
Yes.
And
But he's charming.
Yes,
Yeah,
he's
that's-
very likable.
Yeah,
He's very
none of the
likable.
character. None of the character. Not even Harlan and Marlon are.
And
are
Phoebe
useless.
Cates, right? Phoebe Cates.
Phoebe Cates,
Yeah,
his
yeah,
wife.
yeah.
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 Oh my God, she beautiful.
Really?
She is-
You think so?
forgotten how beautiful she is.
No, I'm being serious. You think? Got ya!
I was like, wait,
Oh.
what?
You have lost your damn mind. That woman is fine as hell.
And
Yes.
Heather Graham's in
And
this too.
hold on,
Graham.
wait. Is it me? But here's where it's creepy to me. She looked like she was 14 years old, man. I know she's like 20.
'cause it was
She's
a
like 20.
long
Wait, who are
Look at Keanu
Heather
Reeves.
Graham or Phoebe Cates?
Well, Keanu Reeves has always looked the same because he's a vampire. So there's that.
No, Phoebe Cates looks the same.
Yeah, she looked the same. She looks the same.
Yeah, we're talking about Heather Graham.
Yes. She
Heather
looks like
Graham looks young. She
Dude,
looks
she looks
really
so-
young.
she doesn't just look like I'm a 20-year-old.
I think this
Young.
was her screen debut. If I'm not
I believe it because she
Maybe,
is
yeah.
so
I can
young.
see that.
She looks
she
so
looks-
young.
yeah.
Like to the
Makes it a
point
little
where
creepier.
yeah, it was way
Yeah.
creepier. Like I'm like up to that point, all the women he's with.
Well, when she grown up, she got up.
But the problem was in that moment when he's supposedly with her,
Yeah.
she looked like she's 15 years old. That was the problem to me.
Well, he did like him young. I mean, he got one in college, right? You assuming?
Yeah, but even then, all the actresses, I guess that they got to be the woman that he was. They were younger than him, but none of them felt like
yeah,
they
even
were
the one that
illegal.
yeah. Well, I mean, you know,
I think she's 20. I think she was 20 when she made this movie.
he had
She wasn't.
been.
I have
Carly.
no idea who we're talking
I was
about.
gonna say
Heather
Carly.
Graham.
James.
Heather Graham.
Okay, still okay.
Heather Graham. She had to be college age at least.
All right, you know what? Since we're gonna do this anyway, wait for it. Booyah! We're gonna bring up the IMDb as we talk.
So I don't have to open it on my phone then.
If you could see
No,
it, Daryl, could you see it? I don't know if you could see it or not.
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, so let's just go through then, and then at points we'll talk about the movie as we go through. Although as we're hold on, as we're discussing the movie, where's my? Here we go. Movie talk. I love you to death. There it is. Okay.
Wow. This is just too much almost.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, I did this for you guys because I love you guys.
Star Trek and shit. I can't do this. This is crazy.
All right, so it was directed by Lawrence Kasdan, as we already alluded to. Lawrence Kasdan, it's weird because in my head, I only ever think of him as a writer, and I know he directed. I'm going to his page here. He did. Let's see, That's right. He did The Big Chill.
Silverado.
Yeah. Now he was the writer on. Actually, did he direct The Big Chill? He didn't direct The Big Chill, did he?
No.
Yes, he did.
He did.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
We never did The Big Show, did we?
No. Do you mean the Boomer movie?
I love the Boomer movie.
Yeah. You know what I've never seen? Body Heat.
What?
Never saw Body Heat.
You know what? I'm not.
Did you not masturbate when you were a child? I don't understand.
No, I remember when as a kid I heard about that. And I remember hearing. I think it was like some kind of dirty movie.
Yeah, Kathleen Turner, man. I was like, don't come in here, Mom.
That was the moment Kathleen Turner.
Yeah.
Wait, hold up. He directed Dreamcatcher, the Stephen King adaptation. That is not a great movie. That is not a great
novel. The novel's greater.
No argument there.
But,
yeah, that was not a great one.
The third.
Yeah, that was something. All right, so Lawrence Kasdan directed it. He did not write it, interestingly, though, because he usually wrote and directed.
Well, and it's also based on a true story. So,
to me, Kevin Kline, it always comes down to A Fish Called Wanda.
Yeah,
A Fish Called Wanda is, I think, my overall favorite thing of his that I could think of. I actually remember liking the movie Dave. I know that was like your usual, like, kind of mid-90s.
Yeah, that one.
Early 90s.
It was an okay. Dave was okay.
It was okay.
Kind of like how you describe this.
He was in. Hang on.
Yeah.
Soap Dish.
Remember
that one?
Yeah, that's with Robert Downey Jr. Right, and Whoopi Goldberg. Was it Soap Dish the one with those two?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But he's also in a movie that I really enjoy. It's too new, so we can't cover it. It's Life as a House.
Oh,
I
love that.
Yeah.
Movie.
That is a horrible title.
Yes.
What's horrible about it?
Life is a House.
Yeah, but it makes if you watch the movie, it's a good movie. I love it. I can't watch it all to Hayden Christensen is in
That's
it
what I was about to ask you. If Anakin was in it. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
It's about dysfunctional families.
Yeah. It's
Cool.
really good, and I can't.
Yeah, it's great.
So
Daryl loves those white dysfunctional families.
well, we kind of
I do.
Actually, I feel like saying white dysfunctional families is kind of redundant. Actually,
because I get all like, I'm like, this what white folk do.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. Believe you me. All right. So Tracey Ullman, the best. I love her. I honestly, I love that show back in the day. I haven't seen her in a ton of stuff outside of that show that I can think of. But
she's had small parts. She was in the Robin Hood Men in Tights. She was in that one.
Oh, she was the witch.
Yeah, she was.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Almost touched it.
Oh, that was great. See, I forgot all about because you know what it is. She's such a great character actress that she just gets lost in those parts. Like you forget it's her. Yeah, she's been in 70 different things, man. I mean, she's
Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Who I haven't seen that in forever though.
No, neither have I. That's with Whoopi.
Whoopi, yeah. Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Over.
No, wait, hold on. It was Robin Hood
Men.
Did you say Men in Tights or Prince of Thieves?
No, Men in Tights.
That's right. She was
Latrine.
Yeah, that's right. Latrine. I don't know why. I was thinking Prince of Thieves. I'm like, wait a minute.
And also she was in,
right.
hang on, where is it? Oh, Happily Ever After?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's done
she was in a movie called A Dirty Shame. Anyone seen that one?
A Low Down Dirty Shame with Keanu Reeves?
No. Just a dirty Scroll up. It's a newer one. Scroll up. See, we can do it. See, people can't see this if they're just listening.
This is going to be awesome audio. Is this the John Waters movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I never saw this, but I remember when it came out. It's NC-17.
Yeah, it is. Sexual deviance.
Yeah, I love John Waters. I love John Waters so much.
Would it surprise you that I have this on my show?
Not at all. We ought to cover this. We ought to cover this. We've never done like an NC-17 movie. We should cover this.
2004. Soon.
We could do it next year.
I know.
Okay.
I'll try to remember.
Dirty.
You know that Joan Plowright was married to Laurence Olivier?
I didn't know that.
No, I did not.
And Peter, if I cared, that would be very cool to me.
Wow. Okay, then I'll make you really.
That means she was a good lady. She got her.
He passed away before they finished shooting, so she did all of her. I think in a couple of days, and and went home to be there for his last.
Well, now that my joke feels empty now that I know she died.
I know that's why I added it.
Thanks, Peter.
She's an amazing actress.
She's a good actress.
And she is Mama Naja in this one. She's
a good egg.
Yes, I love her in this.
You know what just occurred to me? There's a lot of people in this that are not here anymore, right? Because William Hurt,
Phoenix, yeah.
Well, we'll get to River Phoenix in a minute, but William Hurt. I know, isn't it though? Because it feels like he's not that old in my head. Like he's.
I don't think he was.
He's 72, 1950 to 22. Well, what do you know what he died of?
I don't know.
Thought he had cancer, I thought, or something.
Did he? Man, cancer.
No, I think it was something like that.
Hold on. Sometimes I'll tell you. Spoke French fluently. Well, good for him.
You think that killed him?
No.
That could happen. That could kill you.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, you know what? That's right. I forgot that. He was on that Greg Allman from the Allman Brothers biopic where the crew member got killed on the train tracks. Remember that thing? Do you remember when that happened? There was yeah, she was like, I think she was part of the camera. Yeah, she's part of the camera crew. Yeah. Yeah, that was horrible. They ended up stopping the whole thing. Unlike other movies where people have died horribly by
helicopters.
Hold on. I'm trying. Well, no, I was thinking of that Western that Baldwin is doing.
Okay.
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying. It doesn't say. It actually doesn't say how he passed away. Well, that sucks.
Passed away.
He did pass away, so that sucks.
Yeah.
And then of course we've got. Let's go over here to River Phoenix. I know it sounds really stupid. Do you remember where you were when you heard River Phoenix died? I know.
No.
It's not like he was. It's not like he was JFK or like the Challenger blowing up or something. It was, it was River Phoenix. But
JFK when he passed, let's see, I was probably not even in my dad's ball.
Teen girls loved him. I mean, he had a fan. Like teen girls were like.
But you know what? But here's the thing about him, though, dude. To me, it's the loss. Besides the fact that obviously it's always a loss. Somebody dies for anything, but. As an actor, he was 20. First off, the idea he was only 23, and so think about it. He'd only been really working since Explorers.
Oh, yeah.
I think was his first movie in '85. He dies in '93, so 8 years. That's all this guy was in the movie business. But he was already on track to be just one of the greatest actors of his generation.
He was on track to be one of the biggest celebrities in Hollywood at the time. Like,
and he's so weird in this.
Oh, he's great. I think he was actually probably close. He's probably closer to how he actually was in this movie. Yeah. But here's what's funny. To me, the biggest loss, instead of giving us an 80-year-old Indiana Jones, because of how close he resembled him in Last Crusade, he would have been perfect. Because right now he'd be about the age.
Cool,
he'd have been like in his 40s. He could have totally taken over the mantle. But here we are. We can't do anything about it. So R.I.P. Mr. Phoenix. You will be missed. Keanu Reeves is, of course, awesome because he's John Wick.
And we have gushed over Keanu many a times and probably will again.
I love his haircut in this, by the way.
I didn't even recognize.
Super weird haircut. It's
he looked totally different. He looked totally different.
Oh my god, he's like a baby.
I'm gonna hide the banner because it's covering up Daryl, and he deserves more respect than that. Yeah, he deserves more respect.
Back to me.
That's right. James Gammon and Jack Keeler.
He's the guy that you hired when they didn't get Nick Nolte.
Yes. James good call. Yes. I was gonna say whenever you need an old grizzled cop. That's him too. He's always the old
or a Nick Nolte type, and then they go with him.
And I feel like
he
Jack.
was in what are they called? Major League. He was in those.
Yes, he was
both
the
of those, right?
manager. He was
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
manager,
yeah.
right? Yeah. And Jack Keller is a guy I recognize, but I couldn't tell you what
shit,
from, man.
Hang on, I'll just see. He was in. Well, that's a movie I put on the list. Big Trouble. I always put on Lost Highway. We haven't gotten to those yet.
Oh yeah.
He's in Waterworld too. That's also on the list.
That's an awesome movie.
True Crime. True Crime. What is that?
Oh, that's Clint Eastwood, right? Clint
Yeah,
Eastwood movie,
exactly. That's a good one.
Yep.
Right.
And also Point Break.
Yes.
He's in the Last Boy
Who
Scout.
is he in? Who is he in Point Break?
I haven't seen that movie in ages.
Okay.
It's a long
Yeah.
time. So,
But he was also in The Last Boy Scout. I don't remember what he played there.
I think he was a bad guy in that. You know what's funny about
Probably.
him? He's one of those
Probably.
guys that almost can equally play a kind of a sleazy cop or a bad, just a straight up bad guy. Like he's always
And
always
he
like
wanted
either one.
pepperoni on his pizza.
Yes, he did.
Which he didn't because James Cameron's character wanted lots of rooms. Apparently, I've seen this movie many a times.
You have seen this movie far too many
Yes.
times. I agree with this statement. Victoria Jackson, who I feel like is best known for Saturday Night Live. That's like the thing.
Yeah, probably. And
That's
for being Joey Boca.
And for being Joey Boca's mistress. Yeah.
Yes.
Miri,
and again, hang on. Before we get to my favorite,
your betrothed.
Victoria Jackson, at the end in that hospital room, what nerve does she have?
Oh, I know.
Showing up there, and it's the
dude
a
got
lovely
shot.
lady, but she's and still are you leaving your wife now? Yeah.
Did you ever see with her and Leia? Because actually, I didn't tell you my Leia Thompson story yet. But did you ever see Leia Thompson and her in was it Casual Sex? Remember Casual Sex?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
I thought Leah Thompson, the name of it, Casual Sex. You think I didn't jump on that?
Wait, hold on. Cut.
Question, man.
I would say cut to Daryl opening weekend, first showing on Friday night. He's there at the box
I
office.
am sure. But
Leah Thompson, what are you saying?
So I was. Oh, hold on.
Wait. Oh.
Wow, he walked away.
No, I didn't.
Why is his pants
I'm
down?
back.
I know.
Whoa. All right.
Oh,
If you're just listening, you're missing all of this or not much. All right. So when I was last weekend, I was at Shark Con because yes, in Florida we have things like a Shark
of course you
Con, and they were
On
doing
the day of recording, doesn't Shark Week start now?
I think today starts tonight. And yeah, it's this week. It's this week coming up. So they were doing something for Jaws 3D because I guess it's the 40th anniversary.
Damn right.
Yeah.
And
saw that in the
and Leia Thompson was there. And so get this. So and Louis Gossett Jr., Chappie, and I'm holding up for anybody who's watching. I got Chappie to autograph a gift that my buddy Robbie Retro gave me. It's an Iron Eagle soundtrack, and I got Chappie to sign it, which was amazing.
Okay.
Mr. Gossett, you owe America $4 million.
You know, here's the thing, Daryl. You call Kevin Costner a national treasure. I argue Louis Gossett Jr. is the real national treasure, my friend.
You are the American people. Yeah, we did.
He does not owe anyone nothing because he is a hero and a warrior.
Did you ask him about Matthew Starr? No,
I did not. I look first. Here's the thing. So here's the thing. So
what?
We were standing near the stage, and they had both Leia Thompson and him come out at the same time, and they walked right past us. Dude, first off, Leia Thompson looked right at me and smiled. So I'm just saying. I just said it was one of those friendly, like, please don't stalk me smiles, but it was still, it was nice.
And that's when
White ball man, please don't be crazy.
Yeah, please don't be crazy.
Joel starts following him. You want to be on our show? Do you want to be on our show? It's nice.
No, I didn't do that. I'm not like that. I don't
boys. We are very nice boys.
Very nice. But the Louis Gossett Jr. So he was in a wheelchair because he's 87.
Oh, he's older. Yeah.
I didn't know. So in my head, I pictured this strong
fighter pilot.
Yes, I was picturing Chappie. So when I see him,
more than holy shit. How old is that movie now? It must be
almost 40 years old, dude. It's in 86. It's 40. It's almost 40 years old.
No. Wait, 86? That's not for the. No way.
In 3 years, it's 40 years old. It's 37 years old.
I refuse to acknowledge that.
I'm just telling you, it's reality. We deal with reality, Peter. We deal in reality. So
my back. I'm sorry.
So. Anyway, so he comes out of a wheelchair. We're now following Daryl around his house.
I know.
Oh, if he pees on the show while we're doing video,
Oh my God, this is just...
That'll be amazing.
and we can't hear him now.
We can't hear you now. Just so you know, Daryl.
No, I'm not peeing. That's what.
I was like, oh
my God. I was like, I wonder if for
you.
YouTube I'm gonna have to like censor my own video. All right. So anyway, so they were both there, and then he came out, and I originally I was going somewhere with this stupid story, and because you guys brought Leah Thompson up. I was trying to bring it back to Leah Thompson, but yeah, he was in a wheelchair. He's 87 years old, but he was super sweet. He was like nice. My 3 kids came up with me. He was super sweet to them, and he even said to my wife, who was kind of standing off to the side because honestly she doesn't care. She could care less about celebrities. She thought it was cool to see him, but it's like she doesn't give a crap. And he's like, he told her, he goes, honey, you make beautiful babies, which was kind of amazing to have Chappie tell my wife.
And the best part is you were not.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. So anyway, that was honest to God. Like I almost cried after that movie and Enemy Mine. My dad took me to see. So it's like I have this like very, you know.
You gonna throw your dad in my face again?
No, my dad's dead. My dad's dead. Daryl, does that make you feel better?
Memories. You had memories.
That's true, I do have
memories. I have memories of playing baseball with my dad. I would throw the ball and no one would be there.
No! Oh my God, that's a great one. Oh my God.
I know.
No, so
you have memories of you shooting out of his.
Last point. Louis Gossett Jr. Chappie told me that I had a great haircut, so I was very proud of that. I told him you inspired it, sir. I said you inspired it. So that was honestly, God, I almost cried after I met him. I'm not gonna lie. I was so happy. Anyway, so
you in the Aryan Nation. You
no, mine is pure male pattern baldness. There is nothing political to my haircut. So Leah Thompson was right next to him, and she was super sweet. I think Robbie met her, my friend Robbie. I think he did meet her. But yeah. So Leah Thompson, Victoria Jackson, Casual Sex. I remember that was one of those movies that I thought when I rented it back in the day was going to be like, you know what I mean? And if memory serves, it's not at all. Like at all.
Really that.
No. So that'd be a fun one to cover.
That the fact that Leah Thompson smiled at you, that's the only Leah Thompson story you got?
Yeah, that's it.
I'll take it.
Yeah, because you know what? I only had to pay $40 to have Chappie sign my album, and I did. No offense to her whatsoever, she's totally worth it. But I didn't want to pay an additional $60 to have her sign like Howard. Well, actually, I probably would have had her sign something for Howard the Duck. That would be cool. I should have bought Howard the Duck.
When are we covering that one?
Oh, Daryl, when can we do Howard the Duck?
When I'm not going to be able to perform.
Come on. Come on.
I can't wait to cover that. It's going to be amazing. All right, so back to the thing.
I'm checking if it's on the list.
Hey, Daryl, want to see Peter's head explode? Watch this. All right, so next on the list, Allison Porter.
Studio, let's see.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Peter. Did I forget somebody?
Fuck you.
I don't think you did.
He's holding for those listening. He's literally holding up Miriam Margolyes' autobiography or memoir. I don't know which is which.
Autobiography.
Okay, autobiography.
I love Miriam.
You do not love her more than I love Chappie. I bet you don't love her more than I love Louis Gossett Jr.
You don't know.
Want to fight? See this?
Okay, no. Hold on, wait. Because you're like thousands of miles away. Yeah, I want to fight. What?
Well, these arms will reach you. You know that.
They might. Wouldn't it be great if you did that? We had timed it to where I had
that would be cool. Yeah.
That would be great. Yeah, Miriam Margolyes
plays Joey's mom.
Yeah, Joey's mom. And I will say this: I know her from the Harry Potter movies. That's I think it. That's all I know.
I didn't
even know she was in Harry Potter movies. I've seen those things.
I'm not even sure what she played. Isn't the lady who pulls out the plants? I'm not even sure. I haven't watched them, so I don't know.
I've only seen the first 4 or 5. Yeah, she's a teacher at the Hogwarts. Yeah.
No, I remember her first from the British TV show Blackadder.
Okay.
The third show. No, wait.
Mr. Bean, right? Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah, Rowan Atkinson. It's the second series, I think, where she plays his aunt or something. Mm-hmm. She's very religious, and you can't say anything bad or you can't curse or anything, which is weird because if you've seen interviews with her, and I'm going to remember it now, Joel. on the Graham Norton show.
Ah,
if you
very
go
good.
to Graham Norton show on YouTube and watch interviews with Miriam Margolyes, let's see, Potty Mouth, No Filtered Woman is so I love her, and she is
that's
so
that's
sweet.
Daryl. That's Daryl's speed.
I
He
love
likes
that.
the
You
potty
know I
mouth.
love it.
And she's 82 or 83, I think.
That's when they
She's
shit like,
still
I
funny.
used to love a colored guy. And I'd be like, yes, tell me the story. Tell me the story.
Oh,
apparently, the Queen Mother that was passed away now, told her to shut up. Apparently, and they were at a meet and greet and something, and the Queen was talking to someone, and Miriam couldn't shut up because she kind of said, and the Queen apparently turned to her and told her to be quiet, and she's very proud of that moment,
as she should be.
So so go, and if you want to Miriam Margolyes and Graham Norton show, that's she's had a couple of shows on TV where she's just herself traveling around the world. So
like Daryl travels around his house.
Yes. He's outside now. For those who don't know, he's on his patio, looking out over.
Don't tell people the layout of his house so they know how to like.
No, he's looking very proudly over his murder shed.
I have thousands of pit bulls ready to kill anybody intruders that come to my house.
That's true. Yeah, you don't want to mess with Davey. That's for sure. All right, so I do want to mention. So Allison Porter, as soon as I saw her, I was like, "Oh, that's Curly Sue."
Curly Sue.
It is.
Yeah, that's Curly Sue. She was. You remember the John Hughes last directorial effort?
We are old.
We are old. Yeah, and then the kid who played her brother. Of course, and just anybody listening, so she played Carla, who is the daughter of Tracey Ullman and Kevin Kline. And then
why I recognized her. This I was like, hey, okay, yeah.
She was Curly Sue, and then Jonathan Kasdan. So no nepotism. Was the son of the director.
He is actually in it himself. He plays Devo's lawyer at the end.
Oh, and Lawrence Kasdan is in it. A little cameo. That was cool. Heather Graham, and I don't mean to be like weird saying this, but I feel like she was always a pretty girl, but like fine wine.
I'm just gonna let you go with this. So you mean
she's one of those actresses that I think she looks. There's some critics that are like when they're young, I'll bang her, but she looks. I think she looks beautiful as a grown-ass woman.
Not like this aged milk.
Yes. Yeah, aged. Yeah, you aged as well as milk. Congratulations, Peter. Yeah. So Heather Graham, I feel like it goes without saying. I mean, I feel like the first thing I saw her in was License to Drive. That was as Mercedes.
Might have been.
Oh shit! That one. That's from '91, isn't it?
88. I know because I watched
88?
it a lot. Yes. License to Drive. That was the summer I went to go live with my dad, and we had HBO, and I went from my mom's house where we didn't have HBO. And let's just say I watched a lot of HBO.
That was with Corey and Corey, right?
Yeah, the two Corys, and that movie was like my model in my head for how I should be driving a car, which tells you all kinds of problems that I had. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Sure. Was there anybody else in the cast that you guys want to?
No, I think no.
That's the big ones.
Yeah, I think so. There are some like Heather Graham, who's a small part, and then the Phoebe Cates also a small part, probably because Kevin Kline wanted her to be.
I bet he did.
Yeah. Oh, they were married or still married. And she was doing. Huh?
Why would you get divorced? You're married to Phoebe.
Exactly.
At least unlike when you go on one of your Sally Field rants, Daryl, this makes sense to me. Like this, what you're saying makes sense.
What? Sally Field is beautiful. You will shut your goddamn mouth. Cute.
She was always cute.
No, she was beautiful.
Okay.
Oh, so you're saying Phoebe Cates is not cute?
Oh no, and then some.
Oh wow.
I just saying.
Sally Field is a dime piece, homie. I'll tell you that right now.
All right. So that is pretty much all about the cast and crew for this major motion picture.
I love you, Miss Field.
Harlan and Marlon. Oh, Monopoly.
What?
I'm sorry. I still quote this fucking movie all the time. Sorry.
Monopoly. That's right. I forgot.
Monopoly.
I'm not gonna lie, Peter. We'll get to the did a hold up for you section. But before we do, before we do,
I
would
feel
you
like
gentlemen?
Samuel L. Jackson right now because I'm outside and I'm like, just chilling, laid back, bald head,
Is
bald
that is
black
that
man.
is that what Samuel L. Jackson does? And then is he on a show that nobody really seems to watch and kind of ruins the legacy of his character? Is that you doing it like that?
Why are you so destructive? What's wrong with you?
What?
Oh, sorry. I'm just over Marvel. Okay, so let's see here. So let's go and do a little. Listen, what do you guys think we should do? A little. Let me. I'm going to remove this from the stream so I don't accidentally click on it. I say we do a little listener feedback.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. We have
Do
listener
it.
feedback. Not for
All
this
right.
movie,
Get
though.
down, boy.
Here we go. All right, listen up. Here we go.
Let's lift you.
And now it's time.
Hey guys, it's Ian Urza calling in again. This is on the topic of Savage Streets, which is actually a movie when I think one of the first times I called you, I was like, oh, I'd love to hear you guys cover that. So it's awesome that you guys, that was on the list for you guys. Just to start, I'll talk about why I like Savage Streets in other ways eventually, but just when it comes to, because I know you guys talked about some of this stuff when you covered the movie, is just the rape and revenge subgenre as a whole, and why I think it's interesting. I don't necessarily love the movies themselves, but they always make me think. Like, A, it's very easy to pick a side with one of those movies, right? It just always is. But B, there's always something beneath the surface of these films that I think is interesting, like socially or politically, and stuff like that, socioculturally. The scenes, like, for example, the scenes with his Jake and the Scars, the rest of the gang, like that during the actual rape scene, there's that scene where they kiss each other, and that's an interesting scene because it's like, oh, there's something interesting and beneath the surface to talk about. Like, and even the stuff Vince goes through, the peer pressure and how he changes across the film. There's always something interesting in these kind of movies. And even in Savage Streets, you have like basically the part when they steal the car, and it's like there are going to be consequences to this. But it's like, okay, the consequence does not necessarily need to go as far as it did, especially for Linnea Quigley's character. Like, basically, there's always that, especially nowadays when you watch these movies in retrospect, there's always going to be people who say you're victim blaming, and it's like not necessarily true because there's going to be a consequence for things that people provoke. And I always think of Straw Dogs as an example where Susan George is like flaunting herself to these men, and it's like, well, you don't necessarily deserve what you get, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you didn't put the idea in someone's head in the first place for them to get back at you. So there's always that aspect of it, and then there's always going to be people who say you're victim blaming or you're not looking at it the right way. So that's what I always find interesting about these films. And as far as like the beneath the surface stuff goes, one of the reasons why I love The House on the Edge of the Park so much, it's my favorite horror movie from the year 1980. People will always say, really? Above Maniac and Friday the 13th? I'm like, yes. And some of the stuff that the two main characters go through, their relationship, between David Hess and Giovanni Lombardo Radice, I always found interesting, similar to what Jake goes through with his friends in this. And as far as Savage Streets goes, like, it's just a fun movie. It's like a mix between, like, Class of 84, Grease, and then like rape and revenge movie, which I just find interesting as a mixture. And I was talking about Linnea Quigley, and I actually got to meet her a couple of months ago at a con, and I actually told her my favorite performance of yours is Savage Streets, and she was happy about that. I talked to her about some of the David Dakota movies that she was into because I figured not many people talk to her about those. I'm always trying to surprise people when I go to cons and see if I can bring something up that they haven't heard before. As far as Savage Streets goes, again, you get all the lines in this movie. Some great lines from John Burden, like, go fuck it, iceberg. And then some great lines from Linda Blair, like the too bad you're not double jointed because then you'd be able to bend over and kiss your own ass goodbye. Lines like that are lines I think about. They stick with me. And like I said, just some great supporting performances from the likes of John Burden. This is one of Linnea Quigley's best acting roles, I think. And then you get like Susie Slater in the movie for 2 seconds, and I think she was in the movie for 2 reasons and 2 reasons only. But yeah, that's about all I had to add. I really like this movie, and it was fun to hear you guys cover it. As always, guys, thanks for letting us send in some phone calls into the show, and it's always one of my favorites to listen to.
All right. Well, thank you to Ian for that, and I hopefully unmuted you guys. I hope you guys can hear me okay.
Yep.
Okay, good. And so, any thoughts about Ian's point? I mean, ultimately, I think I feel like Daryl and I would say we were hard on the movie, but I think like we were not as into it as either Brandon or Peter. I think
probably. I don't think you were hard on it.
No, I mean, because there were things about I did appreciate, did like, and ultimately, because I remember I haven't seen Straw Dogs in a very long time, and I remember that. What's that? What's it, Daryl? You never seen that? I don't think you'd like it. It's Sam Peckinpah, who's in Wild Bunch and some other great films, but it's Dustin Hoffman, and he plays like and they actually remade it, I think, not that long ago. Not long ago. I mean, like within the last 10 or 15 years.
Yeah,
it's basically he plays like almost kind of a Paul Kersey type figure, like like your kind of classic liberal, like very intellectual, kind of softer kind of guy, and they move back to her hometown in England. Peter, is that right? It's like I think it's in England.
I haven't seen this, and but I think that's about it. And then stuff, and then it's again Dustin Hoffman is this kind of meek.
Yeah, and it's basically that idea of taking a character like that and pushing them to the edge. And she gets assaulted. Basically, these are all like guys she had grown up with and knew. And I get the vibe, if memory serves, and I'm pulling this totally from my memory, one of the guys was like a childhood boyfriend or something. And there is moments where she's obviously trying to get their attention, let's say. And these guys are pretty. I remember the one thing about that movie that really disturbed me, besides obviously the entire assault itself, was that there was an implication like. It was not unwanted. Let's put it that way. And you know what I mean?
It definitely rides the line. It rides the line to. Maybe she did too much. And,
but look. Here's the thing, and I think I've always made this known. As far as I'm concerned, just because it doesn't work for me. If you could watch a movie and it does, it's nothing. I mean, I get it. Like I get why for some people they want to see boundaries pushed. They want to see things. And I do agree with Ian, actually, that there is a lot to have a conversation. I don't know if any of you guys either heard of or read Men, Women, and Chainsaws by Carol Clover. She was this academic and a feminist writer who wrote this book. And she basically took the approach that she uses Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I Spit on Your Grave, I think Last House on the Left is in there as well, and maybe a couple other movies where she talks about how these movies are actually very pro-woman, and this is a woman who wrote the book, and it's actually a very fascinating thesis that she uses. So if you haven't ever heard of that book or read it, it's worth definitely checking out. It came out in the late 80s, early 90s, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
But going back to Straw Dogs, like it like I said, it rides the line, and it opens up for a discussion. Because maybe she's flaunting her goods too much.
Yes.
But that shouldn't. I mean, that shouldn't automatically be like she wants. I mean, you know what I get? Like people say, oh, your short is too, your skirt is too short. You're kind of inviting them. No, you're not inviting anybody to rape.
No,
and males behaving like
and just so we're clear, I don't think Ian was even remotely suggesting that.
No.
I think what I took it as
it's like interesting debate.
Well, and I think that with something like Savage Streets, and we discussed this, if memory serves, that it's the whole like you effed around and found out sort of philosophy. Like they like the Linda Blair character took her young sister, who she obviously perceives as a total innocent. They stole this guy who they know is sketchy as hell. They took his car and
drug dealer.
And he's a drug. I mean, you're messing with fire.
She knew.
She knew that.
Yeah. And honestly, I feel like that's why, honestly, Linnea Quigley's character in that movie is like the total innocent, right? She didn't want, she went along with what her sister did, but she was not the motivating factor.
That's why I think the biggest problem I had was not of everything that happened, but it was that I wish that there had been a discussion in the film with the characters about how we should not have even interacted with those dudes at all
No.
because
Just,
they're
yeah,
they're
exactly.
evil drug dealers, right? Like
Yes.
just,
Yeah.
even if it was a guy, like again, this didn't even make a difference. Change genders and have it where it's a guy, and they've done movies like this where he um is a group of friends and the guy brings his little brother and then he, they
Yes.
like getting in
Yeah.
trouble and he does the same thing where he gets into a fight with a group knowing that these dudes
And then his
are
brother gets hurt or killed or
and then
something
the
like that.
brother
Yeah.
gets hurt or killed. Right.
Yeah.
We've seen this. And
Yes.
I always want the character to be like, I guess that's just me because I want the character to be like, I fucked up. Like I should
And
not.
and look, here's the end of the day. The person who's the guilty party is the SOB that did the murder or the rape,
and
right?
they
That's
still should be
full
murdered
stop.
at the end of the movie. Right.
Yes,
They should
yeah.
all still be murdered at the end
For
of the
sure.
movie. That's,
But to your point, this is why I agree with you, Daryl, that to your point, a great character is going to have multiple dimensions. And one of those dimensions
Right.
should be that questioning of oneself. Because let's put yourself in that situation. If your sibling, your younger sibling, who you feel very protective of, got killed, got attacked, got whatever, you're going to even if you didn't do nothing. How many people blame themselves for stuff they had nothing to do with? Nothing to do with. And if you poked a hornet's nest and that cause and effect led to some horrible thing happening to somebody you love, then you're going to question it. And yeah, now look, I'm not expecting a movie like Savage Streets to go that deep on the character.
No, it didn't have to be deep. No, it didn't have to even be deep.
Yeah.
Well, we knew that there probably was some reshoots and issues with that film, though, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I think so. Yeah.
Where they lost funding and then it changed producer.
Yeah,
we kind
I forgot about that. Yeah. But anyway, Ian, I really appreciate your feedback, dude. And always feel free
do it again.
Yes, please. Because at the moment,
call in about this movie and say you love it.
And if it keeps going at this rate, since Ian's the only one that is taking us up on our call in, I'm just going to change it to Ian feedback instead of listener. Yes. All right. So,
or Ian, if you could do voices, if you could do different,
do different voices.
Sure.
Call up, be like,
How y'all doing? I'm just calling in to
It's
talk
not
to
like
you.
that hasn't been done on this show before.
never.
Wink,
Who would
wink.
do that,
I
Peter?
never did that.
No, I would never do that.
I seem to remember at the early days of Forgotten Flicks, there might have been something
Really?
along these lines.
I don't recall.
It was Jason. Jason probably did something.
Allegedly.
Jason may have allegedly done
It was
something.
Mountain Man. It was Jason. It was Mountain Man.
Is our beloved Mountain Man. All right, so does it hold up for you guys? I love you to death. Peter, I feel like this is a dumb question I ask you every time. Does it still hold up for you?
Yes, it does. And I mean, I've seen this. It's been a while since I watched it, a couple of years. But again, I've seen it so many times that a lot of these lines still, I mean, I know them before the characters say them. And weirdly enough, the character Mama Naja reading Sun, that magazine, that tabloid magazine about, with babies. What is it? A man having a baby with a kangaroo and whatever it is. And her phrase, can you imagine? When everything stuff like that, I sadly still say that today.
Mm-hmm.
When I encounter stuff like this, can you imagine?
Yes. Well, but before I get to does it hold up for Daryl, the final question I have to ask you, Peter, is, for God's sake, why? I feel like without the visual, that like anybody listening's like, what? Okay.
Yeah. I don't. It's first of all, the cast.
I'm just kidding. I know you don't have to explain yourself to me. You know
it's
that.
a great cast. We got into that, and the characters themselves none of them are really all good. Well, the kids, of course, but I love it. It's a great character, and the setting, the whole blue collar working, and the
I liked all that. All that stuff I liked. I love the character, all the actors and the characters.
Did you know? Did you know that the pizza shop, it was built as an actual functioning pizzeria?
Well, was Stanley Kubrick really behind this?
No. And then the characters kind of performed their so they kind of knew their way around the pizzeria, so it looked real, and it does look real.
Yeah, it did. Oh no, all that was. I remember for a second, my wife turned. She goes, "Where's this taking place? Is it New York?" I was like, "It had a New York vibe," but then it was actually I think Washington, right?
Yeah, Tacoma, I think.
Yeah, Tacoma, Washington.
Because if you see the building first, I thought that at first because it looks like the Flatiron Building. Hi, Davey, and people can't see that Davey is watching us from.
He's over his shoulder. I love it.
Yeah.
He's like just staring over.
Yeah. I actually thought it wasn't in because it looks like the Flatiron Building, but it's not.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
It's a similar
Okay.
building.
Well,
So, no, I like it. All of it.
I'm
the
glad you
characters,
do.
everything.
I'm glad you do. I'm glad you. All right, so Daryl, I'm gonna move that so you aren't being blocked by it. Does this movie hold up for you?
Yeah, because I can look at the news every week and see somebody from Florida doing the exact same thing. Right, David?
Yeah, only in Florida does that happen. You're all right.
Yeah, only in
wrong
Florida.
per se.
Only in Florida, and they don't go to jail, and then eventually they get back
Well,
together.
and by the way, it has nothing to do with the fact that's because they were transplants from New York.
No,
sure
not. Right? Yeah, exactly. Don't talk bad about New York. Don't make my dog mad.
All right. So I'll be serious. So Daryl, do you find this movie funny though?
I did. I found it funny. I found it not laugh out loud funny, but I found it funny in terms of watching it and enjoying the comedic goofiness of all these different characters. I mean, Hurt, William Hurt being the goofy stuff. Even when he has the gun and he just like holds the gun out in the room that's empty.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it gets to the husband's body, and then he forgets that he doesn't have the gun in his hand, and he makes the gun fingers,
Yeah.
and he aims it at the person who's sleeping, by the way, like dying in a bed. So it's like all of that was just even the parts with the bot where he was like, I don't know if he's even human. Like we've done everything.
That part made me laugh. That part made me laugh. Yes, that part. I think
like he worked 14 hours, and like she's just explaining it like he's an urban legend now. Like it's almost like he's
not human.
He's not human. He's not you. He only sleeps 2 hours a day. He's not human.
Yeah, I feel like it's not that it's a bad movie. Like I would be lying if I said, "Oh, it was a stupid." It's not. It's not a bad movie. It's just, I guess my expectation was that it would have been more funny, and even though it's only like just over an hour and a half long, I felt like it dragged a bit for me. Like there were just moments that I wasn't as.
I'll agree with that. That they could have trimmed it a little bit better, and I'm saying this from a loving heart. Of course. And I mean, this is not a laugh out loud movie. It's not really all. I sit with a goofy ass smile. I'm not sure we were watching Daryl.
I was about to say, anybody who's watching the video is getting Daryl's interpretation of the Blair Witch Project.
and I mean, it's the whole. Closer, so we see snot running.
Yeah. Put it like right up there, so you get like the snot bubble coming out of your nose.
It's the interaction with the people and the way, because the actors are so good in this, that everything. And when Kevin Kline comes down, when he's had 2 bottles of sleeping pills, he's been shot twice, and he still walks around. And like when William Hurt, when he bangs his head on the light, he's, oh, is he okay? He's so, even though he's dying. He wants them fed. He wants to make sure they're okay, and he plays it. I don't know if all that was scripted or that
improvised, maybe.
Yeah. So I don't know. I love the characters and their interaction, and the fact when he's sitting there, when they actually think he is going. When he's sitting there, he has a stomach ache, and she says, "I know what's going to cure this: a bowl of spaghetti," and she slaps him on the.
Smacks him. Yeah. And there were moments that were like that. They're like you smile and you chuckle. I guess I was just waiting for like that really like laugh out loud moment, and I never got that.
No, I don't think there really are any moments like that.
Yeah. I will say, and I think it goes back to Lawrence Kasdan, probably, although he didn't write this, but I can imagine he probably had some impact on the screenplay. But I liked that even though the Kevin Kline character is such a scoundrel, they don't try to just make him one-dimensional, and in the end,
no.
I liked how it ended, because that could have easily felt very, very phony, and even but it's based on a true story. And there are some people that's how they would react to that. I don't want to give away what happens just in case anybody hasn't seen it. But yeah, so I didn't hate it by any stretch. It's not like I know I kind of joked at the beginning like I was going to hate it, but I didn't hate it. I didn't
cry.
I didn't love it. Like, I don't, honestly, if I'm being honest with you, I don't know that I'd ever watch it again. It's like if I flipped through the channels and it was on one of the scenes that I kind of liked, I might watch it for 5 minutes and then I'd keep going. Like, it's one of those for me. It's not I want to watch it again as soon as we're off this thing. It's not like that. So, but I'm glad I saw it. I mean, I am glad I saw it. So,
there's a lot of again. It goes back to what I love about it. It's the actors and the way they play off of each other.
Yeah,
and the fact that William Hurt and Keanu Reeves plays cousins that are just so out there. And it look. I remember watching it the first time, thinking, "Wow, William Hurt." And you think he's going to play it because you've seen William Hurt and other things. You think he's going to play it another level, but he's just the way when they're standing up, like Daryl said, when he moves and he pulls the gun and he does like this, and oh wait, and the fact that they can't find out where his heart is, and they they
have to do the pledge of allegiance,
and they can't even do that correctly.
They're saying it wrong. Yeah, that's funny. All right, well then, how about we give our final thoughts? Final thoughts. I guess then part of our final thoughts would be, before we do this again, Daryl, I'm going to teach you how to hide your camera whenever you want to move around so that we don't have to have a reenactment of Blair Witch. We'll do that.
I think they want to see what I'm doing.
Oh, do they think so?
It's an action.
Do you think so?
Instead of
it makes it an action podcast. It makes it an action podcast.
Yes, I hope everybody took their Dramamine.
It wasn't bad.
No,
you never know where I am.
That's true.
Yeah,
you're very wily. You're very cat-like.
Can't pigeonhole me, people.
Whoa.
All right, so Daryl, if they wanted to pigeonhole you, where could they find you online to do that?
Well, when you can hear me on the TV and movie podcast, Nothing's On, when I remember to push the button to record it.
I hate doing that. That's the worst. That's the worst.
Whole hour of gold for millions of our fans, and we didn't record it.
Well, I've been on the podcast that happened.
Yes, and other podcasts like the DC All Stars, which is a DC Comics for the nerds in us podcast. We cover a lot of the DC universe. So you can listen to that podcast, and also you can listen to us on Gotham by Geeks, which is a Batman-oriented podcast. So you can check that out, and Walking Dead TV podcast, where I'm part of that podcast, and of course we deal with everything in the Walking Dead universe, and we talk about that on that podcast. It's more professional because we remember to push the button to record it. So that's
question. Have you watched? This is a stupid question. Of course you have. Dead City. I watched the first I watched the first episode, dude. It just didn't do nothing for me, man.
I'm enjoying it. A nice escape from New York, Carpenter.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought too. But it was just so insipid. Like oh my god, the writing is so bad, dude. It's so bad.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I watch it, everyone, and then you decide for yourself.
Okay. We'll agree to disagree because I couldn't I got past the first episode. I'm like, I'm not. Now, I'll give each one of them a chance. I'm going to watch the Michonne Rick one. I'll give it a chance. But so far, other than original Walking Dead.
How many Walking Dead shows are there?
3 more. They're doing a Daryl one, Rick and Michonne, and Negan and Maggie.
Yeah. Fear is ended. Walking Dead is ended. Fear is ending. This is like they have one more part left, but who knows with the strike when that's going to come back. So that's ending. So it'll be 3 shows that they'll have for The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
There we are.
No, it's not like I have 7,000 other shows to watch.
Indeed. So when you're not watching those shows, Peter, where can people find you?
That is a segue. We should have like a segue coming.
I know. I could do it for some reason. I could do that better when I'm like looking at you guys.
Okay. Weird. Well,
you know what? I've heard that before.
Keep eye contact.
No, I can't do that anymore. Well, they can find me here, or they can go to There on the Tube, which is TV movies, 70s, 80s, and apparently 2 soon from the 90s, because the next one we're doing is from the 90s. So that was 90.
When is Undead Wookiee?
Well, it's been kind of like an unwanted hiatus, I think, but we are, me and Hugh are planning on having me on as a guest because it's Hugh's show. Yeah. I think he has something planned, and we just came up with another movie to cover. So we have a list there too. We have a list there too, so they can find me here, Forgotten Flicks, and on the webs, and apparently on this YouTube channel too.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, I can be found all the places that Peter mentioned, except for some of them. So Terror of the Tube, of course. Jay of the Dead's new horror movies. I believe he has episodes that are getting released now. I know he's got a backlog that he's trying to catch up on.
From Thanksgiving from last year.
Oh, yeah. It's almost like he was almost dying or something. I'm like, whatever, dude. Excuses.
Yeah,
come on.
I know.
Edit from a hospital bed.
I know. Right.
If you don't want to record, just don't record, but you don't got to go that far to get out of doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so check that out for sure. And Mom and Pop Video Shop, which is the channel that we're doing this on at the moment. So I have it set up to where Terror of the Tube and Retro Movie Geek have playlists on this channel, along with all the content that Tyson and I have been recording as well. It's going to be a cool amalgamation.
The people might see this again.
Indeed. Actually, we'll hopefully do some stuff for Spooky Flicks Fest too.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were doing this from now on. I like it.
Yeah, me too. I do too. All right. So then on that note, gentlemen, any final words?
And just like that,
the
show is over.
No! No!
Thanks for listening. Visit RetroMovieGeek.com and be sure to leave us voicemail feedback. You can share your thoughts by calling 484-577-3876. That's 484-57-RETRO.